The mighty Mississippi River is bottoming out. Barges are grounding on sandbars or getting stuck in dry ports that are usually flowing with water. Now, workers are dredging the river to make it deeper for shipping vessels, all to try and keep goods flowing. So how did we get here? Let me explain. Nearly 82% of the country is facing at least abnormally dry conditions, and the Midwest drought is drying up the Mississippi's tributaries, which serve as a critical freight artery for the country.
For the near term, the water levels will slowly decrease along most of the Mississippi River because we haven't had any substantial rain in a large portion of the basin for a fair amount of time.
Jonathan Remo is a hydrologist, or a river scientist, at Southern Illinois University. He's been studying the Mississippi River for 20 years. Remo says the river has now broken the record low at negative 10.75 feet, beating the previous record set in 1988.
What is novel about this year is it's happening earlier. So we're in October. These lows usually happen in November, December, and early January is when we generally see the lowest lows.
According to the Department of Agriculture's weekly transportation report, southbound barge tonnages, or the weight of their cargo, was reduced on the river by more than 20%. It was to keep America's vital waterway active.
It's important. We move most of our commodities. The last numbers I saw, we move over 500 million tons of commodities down the Mississippi River, primarily agricultural commodities. Number one being soybean, number two being corn. There's also a lot of fuel that moves up and down the river.
According to the USDA, commodities moved by barge down the Mississippi include 47% of all U.S. grain, 35% of its thermal coal, and 5.4 million barrels of crude oil. The cost of sending goods is also increasing. 1 ton of corn, soybeans, or other grains from St. Louis to southern Louisiana has more than tripled in the last year. What's most shocking is that in just the last month, it's doubled, going from nearly $50 a ton to over $100 a ton. And experts say those supply chain costs will be passed on to you.
There would be large economic impacts, particularly to the central portion of the country, but it wouldn't shut down the total country because we still have rail and trucks, but it just makes it more expensive to move these commodities that I mentioned, corn, soybean, diesel fuel, and things like that, which would probably increase prices